Hi, Sparkles. Welcome back to Intuitive Wisdom. This is episode 193, and today I'm joined by the luminous and deeply grounded Ana Pashyanti, a guide, mystic, and teacher whose work invites people to reconnect with their own innate healing power. In this episode, we explore the first time Ana truly followed her intuition, an experience that came with literal sparkles in the air. We talk about the meaning of consciousness, the power of sacred pilgrimage, and why movement before meditation can open the body to deeper healing. She also shares about her latest offering, a course on how to use simple energy healing techniques to dissolve emotional and physical pain and clear energetic blocks from the body. This conversation is both expansive and deeply practical, reminding us that we are more powerful and more connected than we often remember. Here we go. Welcome to Intuitive Wisdom, a space for grounded energy, soulful insight, and conscious living. I'm K. Margaret Solorio, author, Angel Reiki Master, biotech graduate, and guide for those seeking alignment in their home and life. Each week we explore the unseen layers of energy, intuition, and transformation, because when you tune in, everything begins to shift. So take a breath, and let's begin. Quick announcements before we get to the awesome interview. Have you taken my free quiz yet? It's called Is Your Home Supporting Your Expansion? And it only takes a few minutes. You'll get deep insight into how your space may be influencing your energy and where you might want things to shift. You could find it at deliciousease.com/quiz. And if your space feels heavy, stuck, or just a little off, I offer a service called the Home Frequency Reset, a remote, intuitive, energetic refresh designed to bring your home back into harmony with you. Perfect if you're craving a fresh start or a deeper alignment with your vision. And last but not least, my book, Make Ease Your Vibe, is available now on Amazon in both paperback and Kindle. It's filled with practical strategies for shifting your energy, managing your time intuitively, and raising your daily frequency. And when you grab a copy, you'll also get access to the exclusive bonuses for each chapter at deliciousease.com. All right, back to the episode. Ana Pashyanti shares meditation and energy healing practices to empower her fellow humans to discover their own potential to create transformation in their lives. She guides clients to gently enter a meditative state and tune into their own infinite wisdom and capacity for lasting change, healing, and inner peace. From monthly group meditation sessions to personalized mentoring, her work is devoted to supporting human sovereignty, empowerment, and mystical expansion. Her latest course teaches how to use simple energy healing techniques to dissolve physical and emotional pain and energetic blockages in the body. Without further ado, here is my conversation with Ana. Well, welcome again, Ana. Thank you so much for taking time to join me in this conversation. How are you today?
I'm just great. I'm so happy to talk with you. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'm very excited too. So as you may know on this podcast, I like to explore the magic that happens when we learn to hear and trust our intuitive wisdom. So I was curious for you, what's one of the greatest insights you've received from your intuitive wisdom and acted on?
Well, acting on is the key point, firstly, to act on it, yes. And I only started to do that when my life had fallen apart and I had nothing left to lose. Before then, I ignored my intuition. I just thought I had to ignore my dreams and be practical. You got to make a living, you got to fit in, you got to survive in the matrix, etc. And I never listened to my intuition. I basically thought I wasn't allowed to. And so basically, after a few decades of that and my life just kind of crumbling step by step, eventually I had nothing left to support me, nothing left to lose. And when I was really down there, just, okay, I have nothing. What do I do? I'm at ground zero. I finally asked myself, what do I really want for the first time? So the answer came immediately when I asked myself. It almost came with sparkles in the air. Just a magical energy with that. And it was to go to Istanbul, just somewhere I'd always wanted to ago. I just thought about it. I never thought of really doing it. I wanted to go to Istanbul. I wanted to live there, take my remote job, my little laptop, and just go there, see what
Huh.
happens. And I wanted to learn what is consciousness. And I did both of those things, and it completely changed my life forever. I became a digital nomad for about a decade, traveling the world, and I had the most amazing spiritual experiences. And it all started in Istanbul. It was the first time I listened to my intuition and acted on it.
Wow, and what a profound
And it got me
effect
where I am
for,
today.
yeah, just to listen to that once. And I'm curious, you mentioned traveling around the world, and I had seen in your bio that you've done multiple spiritual pilgrimages, and I've never actually met anyone who's done
Hmm.
that. So I was curious what that means to you, what kind of maybe experiences you've had.
Right. So I have traveled to some sacred sites, in a more traditional pilgrimage sense. However, for me, a trip or a journey becomes a pilgrimage when you are consciously on a mission to learn more about yourself and about reality, to connect more with the divine. And for me, I had so many very individual style pilgrimages, if you will, because I knew that, for example, when I went through Southeast Asia, I took about a month to be in every country kind of along the way. And I started from Sri Lanka and I made my way gradually up to Hong Kong. And every step of the way, every place I went to, I learned more. I put another piece of the puzzle together to understand what is happening, like why did I have these experiences in meditation? What is consciousness? What is reality? And step by step, another piece of the puzzle came together. And so by the time I got to Hong Kong, I reached the the the, the highest points of my understanding at that time. And then, the journey continued like that. So for me, it was I made my own pilgrimages in combination with more traditional sacred places. But for me, a crucial turning point is seeing everything as sacred. And when you feel that sacredness come in from everything and everywhere, you don't always feel that, but when you can tune into that, and everyone can, it makes what you're doing something special. It makes your journey a pilgrimage, whether it's an average day or whether it's, going to a temple in Thailand. I mean, it can be anything, but you feel the sacredness coming in and you see where you're going and you see what you're learning and you have a mission. That was
That's
what it was for
amazing.
me.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Well, you mentioned meditation, and I know now you share and teach all this amazing knowledge. So, what would you say is your style of meditation, and what do you use meditation for?
Yeah, so I like to use a lot of different styles. However, my kind of tried and true method is actually to use my body to meditate. And I know it seems counterintuitive because a lot of us are meditating to kind of expand beyond our bodies with good reason. But I find it that when I really get into the zone of meditating, and my thoughts have kind of relaxed and fallen away, and I really get into that feeling where I can just sit in those juices, divine juices of light and energy, I feel it in my body. And so I'm kind of taking my body with me into this meditative state. So when I focus on my body and I feel I absorb the light and the energies into my body, it gets all kind of warm and fuzzy. And it helps me get out of my thoughts. It helps me get out of the past and the future, really into the present moment to begin to open to more. And so I don't know what you call that, but that's the style I use normally.
Do you move your body to do that to reach that state, or is that more about the focus and the intention of just sitting or lying and then welcoming your body to that state, so to speak?
It's really good to move around before meditating to kind of get the energies flowing and things like that. But then, no, when I'm in the meditation, I'm still Gonna let this car go by. And I just am absorbing the light and the energies into my body like a sponge.
Okay. Amazing.
Yeah, and
Um,
so where that goes from there is to get to your second point of what I use it for, is it helps me on two levels at least. One level, it does help me to finally, you know, come into the present moment, connect with the divine, and really expand as much as I can. I may not be enlightened, but I know how to expand out and bring in as much connection to the divine as I can. On the other hand, because I'm using my body to meditate, I also can very easily go from there to healing my physical body. If I'm feeling tired, if I'm feeling ill, I can bring in the healing energies into my body. And so, excuse me. And so I call in the healing energies into my body and I can feel rejuvenated afterwards. I've even had colds, severe colds go away in the space of, a couple hours of this kind of meditation. And so expanding, yes, out into the divine, but also really bring the light into the body. And after I have meditated, I've noticed that my heart is a lot softer and open. And so I'm more sensitive to my emotions. And so part of my meditations now are emotions coming up to be healed. And so that involves emotional processing and emotional healing as well. So I use it for all of those things.
amazing. And I love how aware you are of yourself and consciousness and reality. And I read on your website that in meditation, we become unified with all that exists beyond the self. So I was wondering if you could help us all make that connection.
Of course, it's just remembering our connection with all that is, with the divine source. Of course, we are already connected to that, but in our everyday lives as individuals with a body and a mind that we're identifying with and enjoying the use of, you know, nothing wrong with that. Um, it helps to kind of take a break from this world of duality and limitations and just experience more of our connection and remember more of our connection as much as is right at that time. And so we are, in a way, unifying our kind of smaller consciousness with the greater consciousness of all that exists, as much as serves us in the moment. And then also to keep that integration in the body as well. And so that means integrating with our emotions and uh, traumas even to integrate outside of us with all that is, and also inside of us, all the parts of ourselves coming together.
Wow. I'm curious, do you have a daily meditation practice? How do you use all of this?
Yeah, so my favorite is to meditate around the sunrise in nature. I live out in the forest, so it's pretty easy to find nature here. Um, of course, in my household, it's not very quiet in the mornings. We've got lots of animals here, waking me up basically to give them their treats in the morning, and then my boyfriend's out chopping wood, making breakfast. So usually I'll just find a time during the day to go out in nature, take a walk, and then meditate there because it's even easier in nature, and you
Hmm.
can really absorb the energies of Mother Earth and the beautiful kind of healing energies of nature too. So that's my favorite place, my favorite way. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that too. I'm curious, in other people that you've worked with, you've talked about using meditation for yourself and the healing benefits. But what have you experienced or witnessed as benefits of meditation when working with others?
Oh, something that people have a more difficult time doing unless they're meditating is kind of finding answers to their questions. We all have things we get stumped on, questions we don't have the answers to, and we don't know where to go. We don't know what to do. And coming into a meditative state will allow them to kind of release all of their thoughts that are swirling around chaotically, come back to themselves. And so we're able to come back into the heart, into the stillness, and then they are able to tap into what they really, really want, to what they really need. And then they know the answers from themselves. Because my mission, first and foremost, is to empower people. We are not powerless to change our lives. We're not powerless to feel better. We are not powerless to connect to the divine. We do have the power, and that is our birthright as human beings. We can all do that. And so that is my main focus, is kind of bringing people into that place where they can do it for themselves. They can find their answers. They know how to feel their emotions and integrate them, and they know how to feel better, because we should all be empowered that we can do this for ourselves. Yeah.
I love that. And I love the simplicity and just helping yourself feel better. I feel like at the end of the day, if joy is the purpose of life, it is really just about helping yourself feel better.
I think so.
That's great. Is there anything else you would like to add to our conversation?
Yeah, just that people know that they can do this. Yeah. It's my life completely changed when I became empowered, when I could realize that I could figure these things out. I know you got to experiment and find out what works for you. I teach some methods of how to connect in, how to meditate, how to heal, but there are as many ways as there are people on the planet, and so experiment, find what works for you, and know that you can do this, and the support is there. Once you understand you can do this, it changes your life forever. Anyone who has experienced that freedom of being empowered, you can never go back.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much. Please tell us the best place for people to connect with you and your work.
It's my website has everything, I think, anapashyanti.com. We have free monthly meditation and healing sessions. So if anyone wants to join, they're most welcome. And yeah, actually, I have a course I've just come out with that will teach people the basic ways of using meditation to heal themselves. So if they're interested in that, I'm pretty excited that that's finally done. So yeah,
congratulations.
Everyone is welcome. The energies are so much more powerful when we're together, meditating together and doing energy work together. It makes it so much more powerful. So yeah, would love to have anyone who wants to come.
Great. Wonderful. And I'll, of course, include the website in the show notes. Well, thank you again. I really appreciated this conversation.
So much fun, Kay Margaret. Thank you.
Thank you for joining me on Intuitive Wisdom. If this episode brought you clarity or inspiration, please take a moment to leave a 5-star review. It truly helps others find this space. If someone you love could use a shift in energy, share this episode with them. You never know what might resonate. For more, explore my frequency reset service, tune into more episodes, or begin the journey through my book, Make Ease Your Vibe. All this can be found at my website, deliciousease.com. Until next time, trust your energy, honor your space, and keep coming home to yourself. Cheers.